I don't have anything to wear.
Yeah. we should probably edit in one of us saying that full sentence there.
Yes.
Because we both went for that. So say it again and I'll make an editing note.
I'm not gonna go to college. I'm not gonna go to college until I have something to wear.
It's a great line delivery.
Honeys,
we're home.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Sinclairity, a dinosaur tale. I am your host. We're gonna need another Timmy, along with...
And I'm Ben Handupme.
Yes, perfect timing. Welcome to episode 3, Hurling Day.
Ooh, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, well, this episode kind of sets the precedent for a lot of the themes that go on within this show. So I think this is like when we're finally getting to what the actual show is.
Yeah, because it seems to be like it's a commentary on changing traditions and challenging things that have been the same way for so long. And there's no reason for it to continue that way if we've made certain advances.
Yeah, and it's typically almost always Robbie questioning his father, which is a current trend that we will see throughout the series.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wonder what I was like a baby when this episode came out, and I wonder what whether this challenged things in society and real life outside of the episodes. Were we throwing old ladies off of cliffs in the 90s? Because I don't know.
I don't know. My grandmother died sometime in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And no one threw her over a cliff. And my other grandmother lived until at least 2004.
Oh, well,
so
yeah, I guess.
And by then, we were civilized.
Yeah, by then we're currently civilized. I was not aware of this.
Yeah, we got all the advances in technology. Like now, you can just insult your grandparents through FaceTime.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, this episode is basically about ageism.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about how you shouldn't waste the perfectly good old woman.
Yeah, old people have value.
Yeah, some of them, not the ones who vote correctly.
Yeah,
don't need to get
and
into
if they don't, you throw them off the cliff into the tar pit.
Oh, that'd be so good for a lot of things. You know what? I'm changing my stance already. I want to bring back the tar pit once we explain even what that is.
Let's bring back the tar pit. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Is there a? Do we have like a summary of this episode?
I can summarize it real quick. So basically, it's when dinosaurs turn 72, you're supposed to throw them off a cliff into a tar pit so that they don't lag behind the rest of the community. And this episode is about Fran's mother, Ethyl, is supposed to be thrown off because she's 72. And Robbie's upset about it and tries to get them to not throw her off. Yeah.
And it's a big day for Earl.
It's a huge... Earl is so fucking excited.
Yeah. So the episode opens with kind of like a tribal meeting. And one of the first things I noticed is not only the date, which is like, isn't it like 60 million and 3, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's 60 million and 3 on a Thursday. That's all I remember.
So I think that means this places it before that guy with the dance lessons, Molester or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
this is before his business started.
Yeah.
Just barely, though. I think his business started 12 million years before our dinosaurs got here, so I don't know.
So there's probably a joke in there. I just can't think of the actual date of when the series started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Compared to when this happened.
Yeah.
But one of the things I thought was funny is, and a reoccurring thing that happens throughout the series is, you'll notice they'll reuse a lot of the puppets and like the bodysuits, and just because it's so expensive to make new ones, and in the corner it doesn't have a speaking part, but there is the Robbie suit. Someone's in the Robbie suit, like playing the drum.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then the main like tribes leader is one of Earl's coworkers.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I've noticed that.
So yeah, in there he's just like he's gathered everyone around the fire and is just like, well, at my age of 72, it's time for me to go.
Yeah, he explains, he's just like, I've lived long life. I've witnessed many wonders. I'm slow. I get up 16 times in the middle of the night, and I straggle behind attracting predators. And he's like, don't act like you haven't noticed. And I love that, like, there's, like, when he decides he's going to throw himself or be thrown into the tar pit, like, there's, like, muffled applause in response. Yeah. And then he's like, but before I go, and one of the guys like, oh, here it comes. Like, they're just tired of hearing him talk.
Yeah, and then the other suit, which is Earl's other coworker, raises his voice, was just like, hey, can we also make it a rule that the husbands get to hurl their mother-in-law?
Yes. What is with that dynamic? Apparently existed before dinosaurs were even civilized. They're just like, I can't get behind a mother-in-law. I fucking hate that shit. Also, another thing too is that if this was before dinosaurs became civilized, were these dinosaurs married too? Yeah, that's why it like threw me. I was like, I don't really understand the concept, why there's a concept of mother-in-law and why there's a joke about the guy already hating them.
Yeah, because as far as we know, like, dinosaurs getting married is relatively new.
Yeah, it's a new concept. It's wild.
So why would they have a mother-in-law?
Oh, this continuity is just fucking me up.
This is not science.
They need like a show Bible that they follow every time I feel like they just like have every script. They're just like, maybe they remember a few words from it the next episode, but they probably just throw it away.
Yeah, like the Sonic Bible. Shout out to the Sonic Bible. So yeah, so this scene just establishes Hurling Day and how important it is to dinosaur culture. So from there we enter into the present time, and Earl is so excited.
Yeah, what a dick.
he can't wait to kill someone.
He's in front of his wife, whose mother it is, and he's just dancing around the room, just like singing to himself about getting to throw her off a cliff.
Yeah, we pretty much established that Earl just likes murder. Like, he doesn't mind murder.
It's true. He's at least pretty into it. And I think it's interesting that Fran does not seem to have any emotional connection to her mother's hurling either. Like, she's also just like, whatever, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, because it's just ingrained in their society, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just expected. Like, her father, it happened to her father too, Grandpa Louie.
But it's interesting because it seems to be a parallel to dying in some ways. I mean, I assume they actually die when they hit the bottom into the tar pit, but like they're just accepting of like, no, she's gonna die. It's fine.
Yeah, and while he's enjoying this celebration, we see the baby who is also in the kitchen, and he's watching TV, and Earl gets in front of him, and immediately the baby just starts hitting Earl with a spoon.
It's starting to bother me.
Yeah, that was so good.
he got not the mama within 1 minute of appearing on screen. It's his
Earl
karma.
Knows exactly how we feel watching this show.
Exactly.
He's the audience.
He's the fourth wall.
So he's hitting the baby, and then the Robbie comes in, and he doesn't really understand the concept. Mm-hmm. You can see he's already concerned, like he's already ready to just question everything.
Yeah, and he brought a newspaper with the Hurling obituaries in it.
Yeah.
And Earl gets excited and he's reading. He's like, wife, blah, 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 mother, blah, 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 grandmother, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, here. Will be hurled into the ooze by her loving son-in-law, Earl Sinclair.
Yeah.
The good part.
And then Charlene comes in, and she's just portrayed as just like a vapid teenager who just cares about shopping.
Yeah, she says she thought that her grandpa went on a cruise, and Robbie's like, you bought that? But like when Fran says it to her, she's just like, does this outfit make me look fat? Like she has no response to the actual Hurling.
Yeah, and then also, while this is all going on too, we cut back to the baby watching TV, mm-hmm. and it's a DNN special report, and the person in the dark shadow says, "I was a carnivore in a herbivore's body."
Yeah, and Handupme turns around and he's like, "Cross eaters today at 4 on Raptile."
Yeah, Raptile. That's the name of the show. Yeah. I forgot. But yeah, the person admits to being a cross eater. Yeah,
so I'm a cross eater. I feel like you're also a cross eater, but without the metaphor. It's just because you're a vegan. Like,
yeah, I was a carnivore trapped in a herbivore's body.
Or you're a herbivore trapped in a carnivore's body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we're not carnivores. I think it's interesting in this scene that when like Robbie asks Earl about the tar pit, like what happens when you go in the tar pit, he's just like, I don't know. Nobody knows, I guess. And then like when Fran's trying to describe it to Charlene, she describes it as essentially like heaven. Like her version of it is more like heaven, and Earl's is like purgatory. And Charlene asks if it's like the mall, like the Galleria. She says. But yeah, I also like that Charlene notices the baby and is like excited to see him in the morning. That was cute.
The baby basically loves everyone but Earl.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So do I.
So after all of this commotion, Earl heads to work, and everyone at work, his coworkers, Roy, everyone's so excited for Earl.
Hey, you ready to give her the old heave-ho?
Yeah. They're so excited to kill someone.
Yeah.
And then Earl shows off his gloves that his father passed down to him on his wedding day.
At his wedding, his dad's like, one day you'll get to throw that woman off a cliff. Like, here's some gloves for it. Like, that's so weird.
Do you think Earl's parents are still alive?
I don't know, because are they ever brought up at any point?
No, it's only ever his mother-in-law.
He doesn't mention throwing them, I don't think, either.
Yeah. So
maybe they were trying to leave that open, and then maybe they just never explored it.
Yeah, his grandparents are never brought up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's showing off his gloves. Everyone is so excited for Earl. Mm-hmm. They're all basically like putting all their hopes and dreams into Earl.
All of his labor friends are excited. They refer to how they like it's just bringing them closer together until their boss shows up and yells for Earl.
Yeah, so yeah,
they scatter.
Richfield yells. Of course, everyone's scared. Of course, and so is Earl. And he goes inside, and oh my god, this scene.
Oh god, it's pretty good.
Yeah, like, Richfield's just like he's basically just shitting on him.
Yeah,
that he's like he's a nobody.
I'm a great and powerful dinosaur, and you're a puny nothing. And because of my position and social standing, I can say whatever I want, and like you just have to flatter me in return, which Earl does.
And then Richfield offers him a drink, which I think is hilarious.
It's good to have a drink while you're at work pushing over trees. It's definitely a drink in hand type job, just for safety of others.
And he takes a shot. Richfield just continues to just like shit on him, but then he brings up that Hurling Day is basically the great equalizer, as he refers to it.
Yeah, the lowest of the low get the bump shoulders with the highest of the high. Which I like how this guy in middle management considers himself like highest of the high.
Yeah, and I love when he offers Earl the drink, he's just like, he's like, I love your sudden lack of cruelty.
He looks pensive about it for a moment too.
I know, and he can't take the shot. He's just like, ooh.
I love that, like, the boss will starts to, like, reminisce here about when he got to throw his mother-in-law, old lady Wilkerson or whatever, off the cliff. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I'll never forget the sight on her face as she spiraled out of sight. and he's like, and it's sad how the memories fade. Good thing I got on VHS.
That was the best. And then he plays it, and it's just you just see a little figure get thrown off the cliff, and it's just screaming.
A nice trajectory, sir. And he says, "Damn right." This is the second swear word of the series, I believe. Earl says "damn" in the first episode, and then "damn" was said here. I'm doing a full count of the swear words.
Good.
It's because it's a family-friendly programming, you know.
That's right. This is a children's show, and then he shows he puts on slow-mo.
Yeah,
they watch it on slow-mo.
That's great.
So Earl. So basically, not only are Earl's like coworkers like excited for Earl, but his boss like really wants him to kill his mother-in-law too.
Yeah, there's some good solidarity there. It really is the great equalizer. His boss is even like, he's like, tomorrow's your day, Sinclair, and no one can take it away from you, or I would have. Just real boss behavior. That is fucking boss baby down to a T.
Yeah, and like he said in the first episode, he needs less family. So
he is helping him achieve his goals.
So after work, Earl returns home, and we get to the backyard shot, which we haven't seen. We haven't seen like the backyard of their house.
Yeah.
And he's back there throwing. Is it flour? What is he throwing?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer. All right. Yeah. So he's throwing fertilizer.
It's in bags. He's not just free throwing some shit across the yard. It's bags of fertilizer.
Yeah. He's a dinosaur, not a monkey. And he's throwing it to, I guess, train to throw Ethyl, which when we finally reveal Ethyl, you're like, holy shit, how is he gonna throw? That's not the same.
Yeah, she's essentially almost his size, just in a wheelchair, so I don't know.
While he's in the backyard with Roy, like, practicing, Robbie's out there, and he's just questioning everything again. He's just like, is there life after the tar pit? Has anyone ever came out of the tar pit?
Earl does not care about his questions at all. Like, he's never thought about it and does not want to think about it.
Yeah,
he just does not want anyone to take his day away from him.
Exactly. All he's worried about is his throw and how well he can do it. That's all he cares about.
I like Robbie's like basically just like, what am I supposed to say to her when she comes over tonight? Like, goodbye, good luck. Sorry, we're throwing you off a cliff.
Yeah, and he's like, there was that line, Earl says like, he's like, I know. How about you ask her about how useless she is?
What a great guy. Oh yeah, and then from the house you hear Fran shout, "Earl, Mother's here," and he's just like, "Not for long."
Yeah. So yeah, because today's her birthday, and then the day after they throw her over the cliff, basically. So we come back into the house, and we are finally introduced to the Ethyl puppet, which is also a really awesome, like, I don't know how that thing works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the design of the wheelchair, and there's a little old lady in it.
Yeah, and like, so she comes in, and she's so like nice and kind to her daughter and the grandchildren. Like she loves the grandchildren. She gives Robbie $5 for 5 kisses.
She tells him that he must be beating the girls off with a stick.
Yeah, because Robbie fucks.
Yeah, he does. But I like that, like, she, she says about how excited she is and she feels like a schoolgirl. And it's like, Charlene, sweetheart, pour me a scotch. That's a good girl. And then she gives Charlene $100. Like, Robbie should have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then her mom just takes it from her immediately.
She says it's for college.
It's for college.
I can't go to college if I don't have it. Yeah. I
don't have anything to wear.
Yeah. we should probably edit in one of us saying that full sentence there.
Yes.
Because we both went for that. So say it again and I'll make an editing note.
She said, I'm not going to go to college. I'm not going to go to college until I have something to wear.
Yeah. Great line delivery.
That's what she says.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Sally Struthers. And then Earl comes in and instantly Grandma just starts roasting his ass. Her like favorite catchphrase is fat boy. She just calls him fat boy all the time.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I call my cat.
I'm sure that's more affectionate. I like that the baby picks up on it and starts calling him fat boy.
Yeah, and plus when Earl enters the room too, baby's just like, oh no.
Yeah, uh-oh. But when the baby saw the grandma, the grandma's like, it's the baby, and baby Sinclair's like, it's the grandma. Like great social skills they have.
Also, it's kind of weird that grandma and the baby look very similar.
That's the recessive genes.
And they both kind of look like Earl, too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Originally, the design for the grandmother was going to be a pterodactyl, and she was going to sleep hanging in the closet. And
is that for real?
Yeah, that was like the actual design idea, and like originally it was written that way, and they eventually just got to a point where they're like, that's going to be too difficult to like use a puppet of a pterodactyl. Like they just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, so they went with a mobilized like wheelchair.
Yeah,
which just seems even more like over the top.
At least they don't have to hang her upside down at any point.
Like someone's in there, right?
I assume somebody is under there just walking, and it makes it look like the thing's scooting around.
Because like it's so elaborate, and then I also love like we don't see it yet, but there's a shot where like there's a spot for her tail to just hang out in the back. After Ethyl gets done roasting Earl, they go and eat dinner. And then we come to a scene where it's getting late, they're all eating cake, and Earl wants to go to bed because he's got to wake up early tomorrow to kill her. And and Charlene goes to bed, and then it's just Robbie and Grandma, and Grandma's like, what's wrong, Robbie?
He's just so concerned about this. Like, he loves his grandma, and they like reminisce about like he used to write her letters when he was a kid, and she shows him a photo of him on his grandpa's back hitting him with a pot. Yeah,
so the cycle of abuse continues. Also, I also wanted to point out there's a scene I forgot. Like the scene opens where she gives Charlene a seashell necklace.
Oh yeah, I love this.
That her grandfather gave her, and she's like, "Why is there a bite taken out of it?"
It was a wild night, honey. Don't ask about it.
Yeah, grandma fucks.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing in that scene is like when they're like about to eat, and like she talks about how she's gonna try to eat a fattening dinner to make it harder for Earl to throw her, and he's just like, "Oh, it'll be worth the hernia."
Yeah. So Robbie gets upset about this after they're done reminiscing. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, all right, you know what? No, we're getting out of here. So he kidnaps his grandmother.
Yeah, he's just like, dinosaurs have been around for 1 million years, and I've only been here for 14. So I can't believe I'm about to do this. And then they just, like, bust out.
Yeah, and that's when you see her tail, too,
yeah.
sticking out of the... So, they go out, it's like super early in the morning, so that means they must have been walking like all night.
Yeah, and I like the line Ethyl is like, it's dangerous out early in the morning. Everything is hungry. Oh, and she also gives us the name of the elder. She says his name was like Bob Labreo when she brings up Hurling Day being invented years and years ago.
Yeah, a very wise dinosaur named Bob Labreo.
What I like about this scene, we've discussed the scale issues before, where we can't tell like why the sizes are all mixed up for the dinosaurs. But, like, they're hiding because there's, like, a giant monster moving past them. Like, what the hell could it be? They're dinosaurs. How is it that much bigger than them?
I know. That's so weird, especially when you consider that the humans are also the same size as the dinosaurs.
Yeah, so, like, what is... There's a lot we still have to learn.
So, so after they're done like hiding from the predator, Ethyl's just like begging Robbie, just like just take me back. She's just like I'm ready to die.
Yeah, she says she's lived her life, and as Earl says, she's laid her egg. She's good to go. Like she wants this. She says she's earned it. That's how she feels about it. She's done. So they do go back.
And then they cut back to the house, and Earl is on his knees praying to God, I guess.
Yeah, that she's okay, so he can still hurl her.
Yeah, like I guess we. I feel like by now we've already established that God is a thing.
Yeah, God exists in this show. Also, so does Godzilla apparently, because Earl uses that as a distraction in this episode.
Oh my God! Yeah,
look, there's Godzilla.
We're not there yet, but yeah, that's very weird.
This scene is great because after like Robbie gets off, Earl thinks that Robbie brought her back after she tried to escape or whatever, and then we cut to the TV and there's like a parody of Mr. Ed,
Mr. Ugg.
Yeah, Mr. Ugg, and the caveman talks with a horse voice and chews like a horse. Like, what the fuck is happening in this little? And the human is like, "Don't tamper with my mail when it arrives today." But you know he's gonna.
Yeah, because he's Mr. Ugg.
He's Mr. Ugg and he's into hijinks.
Yeah, and then I love when they immediately cut to a scene where like Earl is like choking out Robbie.
Oh yeah, because he finds out that Robbie was the one who I guess wants Ethyl to stay around. He floats the idea to Fran, and Fran floats it to Earl, and then it's just the scene of him holding him up Bart Simpson style, choking him.
Yeah, a very classic trope in the American sitcom.
Yeah, it just wants to normalize it for everyone else that this guy, these adults choke their sons. What the fuck?
So Robbie brings up his points, and then he pretty much convinces Fran that it's wrong. Like, yeah. I don't know why it took her 14-year-old son to like convince her.
She just doesn't seem to think a lot, I guess. But and Earl admits, he says he married Fran so that he could throw Ethyl off the cliff, which is interesting in and of itself that he knew Ethyl prior, hated her. Like, I don't really. Back when 20 years ago when he was he's a tree pusher, he's still a tree pusher.
Yeah. He basically did it just for murder.
He did it all for the murder.
Yeah. So while they're all in the room, Earl, like you said, Earl distracts them by saying, "Hey, look, it's Godzilla," which, again, the continuity here.
Yeah, maybe God and Godzilla are the same dude in this show. Like, I don't know.
That would be tight,
but it does work on them, and then he escapes pushing her up the hill.
Yeah, so he makes it to the tar pits. Which is funny because he's not like running. Like
no, he can't because she has the brake on her wheelchair. She says.
Yeah. And I love when he like gets to the cliff, and on the side it's like the sign for like it has like the hours for hurling.
I wonder how often people get in trouble or dinosaurs get in trouble for hurling people at the wrong time.
Yeah, hurling after hours. It's like when you go to like the park down the end of my street that says it closes at dusk. Like,
yeah,
like okay.
Yeah, I remember being kids and getting in trouble at parks after dark, and we're just I guess I don't know. I don't really get it. Just leave us alone.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. There's also a sign at mine right now that says, keep your distance, COVID-19, and there's always like a shit ton of people at that park, and it's very small.
Oh, God. People are wild.
So, Earl is pretty much ready to do it, and then obviously Robbie and Fran catch up to them because they were going like 5 miles an hour. And Robbie's just protesting. He's just like, no, you can't do it.
Yeah, he's essentially just like, Earl's whole thing is like, this is his moment, he's been waiting for it. It's the great equalizer, he can rub shoulders with the highest of the high. And Robbie's just like, well, if that means you're nothing, if you don't do it, then I'm going to be nothing because I'm not throwing you off the cliff when I get older.
And then Earl's just like, all right, well, you're both going.
What a great way to handle that problem.
So he wants to throw both of them, and for whatever reason, they convince Earl not to do it.
Well, it's I guess it was mainly just Robbie saying that he would be a legend among dinosaurs if he changed this law, and that everyone else he'd have to sleep on the couch for the rest of his life. But like they still have to convince Ethyl because she wants to go at this point still. Like she's done. She's like, why is nobody listening to what I want?
Yeah.
And she chooses to live for spite because she will get to stay in their house and it will make Earl miserable. So that's what she wants. So she's amazing. Like, I feel like I could live to be 1,000,000. Because nobody's ever died of getting old before is what Earl says too. Is like they have no idea how long she's even going to live in their house.
Exactly. There's no precedent for this for someone living past the age of 72.
Yeah. So Earl asks Fran to throw him in. She doesn't do it, so he stands there dejected, and he throws his hurling gloves from his father off the cliff instead.
Yeah, he decided to buck the tradition.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much the whole episode. I mean, it just ends like that.
No. Really... He goes back to work the next morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he tells a fisherman's tale about, like, he's like, yeah, I tossed her off. She went so far, and then she kept going and going. And then she bounced, like, all the way back up into her chair. And it's a miracle, so now I have to let her move in. And they're all just looking at him and, like, obvious, like, they're not buying it. And they're just like, you just killed us, Earl.
Yeah, he ruined everyone's day.
Yeah.
By not killing his mother-in-law.
Yeah, they can sense that the tides are changing or whatever. That things are going to be different now.
And they don't like it.
I got so distracted trying to look up stuff for this episode by just different shit I kept finding on the internet for the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I don't know, like I found that video I sent you of the Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize mashup where it has Earl singing the song.
It's amazing.
I kind of want to like do an actual parody of that at some point. Like do a Hypnotize parody about Earl. Which, well, you know, we'll get into that at some point.
And how he loves to murder his mother-in-law.
It could all be about Hurling Day. We can do a Hurling Day parody.
Yeah, that video's been around for a while, but it's very, very good.
I also saw this comedian Jen Lewis at this Jen Lewis on Twitter posted a bunch of edits of scenes from Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs were replaced with the Sinclairs. It's so great. Or the one with what is it, Mr. Richfield replaces like that like Triceratops on the ground that he's hugging. I love that. I found that like on this website for some science place, and like it's like this
science place.
It's like a website for science articles, and they're just like, this reimagining of Jurassic Park is amazing, and like just there's only one comment on the article at the bottom where this guy says, "What does this have to do with science?" I fucking love whoever that guy is. He's just really out there trying to get his science, and he hates these distractions in pop culture.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Why is there a puppet?
He probably. I wonder if like his comment was after a conclusive like 72 hours of research, where he's just like, "Is this science or is it not?"
He was exhausted. You can't blame him. Very exhausted.
He really wanted an answer. What does this have to do with science? Please, Godzilla, please tell me.
So that was episode 3, Hurling Day. What were some of your final thoughts, Ben, on this episode?
I like Robbie sums it up as like it's a waste of a perfectly good old lady to throw her off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, I know a lot of people who just generally don't like old people at all. And I think it's narrow-minded. Like, I understand there's a lot of old people out here fucking it up, but it's mostly because they actually go out and vote. Because they have nothing else going on. Voting is the one thing they do all year. So.
Yeah, and they vote within their interests, which has nothing to do with kids in school or anything to help anyone that's not elderly.
Do you think we just get blinders on us when we get older and we just have no empathy, or like, I don't understand?
It sucks because like they know they're gonna leave this world soon, and so they just don't care.
Yeah,
at least that's how it feels like.
I guess human evolution is still so like we're not like a super super old species, so like I kind of get the fact that like I don't know. That's only a couple of generations ago, and so much has happened since then, and we've learned like different ways of handling emotions and developed differently as humans. I think that people are going to be kinder when they're older, when our generation is older, I think.
Yeah.
If we survive.
So. Yeah, if we survive
that's
this pandemic.
Yeah.
Cuz like I don't know, I always think about it like my grandfather. Like my grandfather was like a electricians union guy from Chicago. Like he voted for Obama 2 times, and then for whatever reason in 2016 he decided he was going to vote for Trump.
Wow.
And then pretty much as soon as Trump took office, my grandfather passed away, and it's just like, thanks, Grandpa.
Shit, how old was he? We could have had a Hurling day.
He was. Oh shit! He might have been in his 70s. Sorry,
my grandma, who's still with us. I have like a crazy grandma and a good grandma. Like, well, they were both like always like left us like for years, and then one of my grandmas is now like really into Tea Party and shit out of nowhere, and it's weird. But then my dad's mother, she voted for Obama. You said your grandpa voted twice for Obama?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's from Chicago, basically.
Then I'm going to say she voted 3 times just to one-up you. For Obama. She just kept voting for Obama. She won't stop. Somebody stop her. No,
she's ruining the election.
I believe she voted for Clinton last time. Just whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Old people are weird. I don't know if we should hurl them off cliffs, though.
Yeah. I mean, they have worth in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we learned from this episode.
Yeah. I'm assuming your favorite character has remained Robbie, because this is a pretty good Robbie episode.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically like what Robbie's all about. Like, we didn't really get that, in the first 2 episodes.
I think Ethyl's my favorite character now.
Ethyl is really good too.
I mean, I don't like, she's pretty classist in her judgments of Earl being a tree pusher, and says that they live on the wrong side of the swamp. And
like she like when Fran was just like, it's like, what can I do for you? She's like, get a divorce in the next 12 hours.
Yeah, she says like, Mary Ellen Swarkinson's daughter married a podiatrist 4 hours before she got hurled. She went into the tar a happy dinosaur hurled by a professional. Which is great. I also love that this Mary Ellen Swarkinson's that's the same name as my partner, not the Swarkinson part, but Mary Ellen. I think it's like an old lady name. That makes sense.
Yeah, just like Ethyl.
Ethyl is also the name of it's like a pun for like oil companies and shit or whatever.
Yeah, and do you remember what her last name is?
God, I don't know if it brings it up at some point in Phillips, I believe, which is
Yeah,
also
Ethyl
an oil
Phillips.
company.
Yeah.
Like most of these things in the show are oil companies.
Sinclair and Richfield, yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited. I ordered a Earl Sinclair action figure off of eBay, and I ordered the Big Songs cassette tape it's like all the songs from the series on a cassette.
Oh, Jesus.
And I got some trading cards.
There's, like, the obvious, the I'm the Baby song.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an episode where, Baby wants to watch his, it's not the Little Mermaid, it's like the Little Mermaid, but it's like, I think it's Underwater Girl or something like that, and he, like, demands to watch it, and instead of, like, Under the Sea, it's like the song in the movie is just like Under the Water. And it's just like that over again. It's like Under the Water. And, yeah.
Oh, I hope that's on there. I'm excited.
If it is, I want to know, because that's amazing.
One problem is I guess I hadn't used eBay in a very long time, and I accidentally had the products all shipped to Kentucky at my dad's house, which is 800 miles away from me. So I'll figure that out. So now my dad has some cool new stuff.
Hell yeah, some nice dinosaur memorabilia.
Mm-hmm. One other thing I want to bring up before we close is I found out while researching this season that they had originally had a laugh track for the first 5 episodes when they were producing it.
Oh my god!
So they did 2 versions. They did a version with the laugh track and a version without it, and they ended up going with the one without it. Thank God.
Does the version with the laugh track exist, though?
No, it was never like placed on any DVDs or VHS. It never made it out of the studio, which I'm kind of bummed about. I want to be kind of a funny thing to have.
That would be amazing.
Oh, and do you want me to read the review from IMDb on this episode?
Yes, you should.
Because the one from last episode was so good. I haven't read this one yet. Let's go. Okay. At 61,000,003 years ago, an older dinosaur was 72 years old tired and wake up 16 times at night to do his biological needs. He demanded to be hurled at tap pit at once. Since then was established a law that every dinosaurs who reach in this age shall be hurled into a tar pit by the old Ethyl's time is about to complete. And the anxious Earl is happy and angry to revenge all those past years. I stopped for a second thinking I missed the sentence, and no, it's just written like this. Past years stands her at your home. However, Robbie disagree, arguing this rule was outdated. Ethyl has a lot of living for. Fran also support the idea. Earl enter into a spiral of despair. It was what's he expecting for so many years. How he explains it to your fellow friends that he hurled her into a tar pit, but she hit into a rock and going back safe and saved. What a fabulous moment. Funny episode. And they gave it a 7 out of 10.
Well, I give this episode of the podcast a 7 out of 10.
I give it a 4. I'm giving us chances to grow and improve.
Yeah, we're getting there, folks. So thanks for hanging in with us.
Yeah, I mean, the first episode, that was the first time you and I met, so we're.
I know we're still establishing some kind of relationship, so
some rapport.
So get used to it, folks.
That would be very weird if this is we decided we just ran into each other on some kind of forum, which is actually how we did meet, but a million years ago. And it was a Streetlight Manifesto forum. But
yeah, do not give them a shout out.
No. I'll give the band a shout out. I'm just not giving that forum a shout out. But yeah, that was back when we were signed to Victory Records or whatever. No, but yeah, it'd be weird if we just met on a dinosaurs forum and we're like, let's do a podcast about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Whereas,
well, anyway, don't forget to check us out on our social media platforms. You can. What's our Twitter, Ben?
Our Twitter is twitter.com/Sinclairity2, the number 2.
And then you can also find us on Facebook at Sinclairity, a Dinosaur Tale, as well. And check us out. And thanks for listening to episode 3. Next week, I guess next week is episode 4. Which episode is that, Ben?
Let me pull up my Google. I believe the episode is called High Noon.
High Noon. Oh, I know it. This is a weird one about scale, as far as the scale of the dinosaurs.
Which I guess we'll continue to follow that as it progresses.
Yes. So we'll talk to you next week, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, and as we always say at the end of the episode, hurling to bed, hurling to rise. Wait, that's not it. Enjoy the extinction.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
We're back to say thanks.
Okay, you just do it again.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Okay. That's what I was doing.
All right. Okay. Go. Do it.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This has been Handupme. And I'm here with our friend. We're going to need another Timmy. Timmy. You guys get that one? So we're going to thank our friend Scottoon Network, more like Scottoon Network, for doing the theme song for our show. Never mind. Okay, so back to basics.
Lakeland.
A eunuch in New York. A eunuch in New York. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Hey, we're back real quick for a second. This has been Handupme, and I'm here with
We're gonna need another Timmy.
And we're just gonna add this real quick because when we record these episodes, we didn't have the theme song yet. So thank you to Scottoon Network for recording the theme song. It's like a cool ska punk cover of the theme song to the show Dinosaurs, which I don't know if you guys heard of that show or not. It's not worth making a podcast about it or anything.
Not at all.
And we're going to say thanks to my friend Amy Shenanigans for drawing portraits of me and Tim where we look like real cute and stuff. And then I drew some hand puppets on there for the logo. Who else do we got to thank? Anyone?
We got to thank Mr. Zach George for editing this and producing it.
Yeah, what a task. What a thing to take on for, like, he's got, like, newborn quintuplets or some shit going on at the house. And, like, he's got a wife, which, like, I've heard about those. I've listened to stand-up. So, like, I appreciate him taking time to help us. And hopefully, maybe if Zach edits this to, like,
2 times the speed
and throws in at the end, this won't be clunky. So, we'll see you next week where we try to swallow a whale whole on the podcast. Bye.
The whole whale.
I don't know.
Goodbye.
I don't know. I definitely lost the plot before we started.
You lost the plot.